Thank you so much for being here with us.
My pleasure. That's what I'm here for. Yes.
Can you guys talk about the process of making the film? At what point did you decide you wanted to go on this journey together, and how long did it take?
Well, I think you should start with
Yeah.
your initial interviews.
If you remember in the film, there's the ceremony that occurred in 1996, I believe. And it was at that point during they had the monument ceremony in Kastoria that I realized that there was a story, and also being Greek Jews, anytime me or my family, we would be in a situation that said, oh, my parents are from Greece. And wait, I thought you said you were Jewish. And I said, yes, we're Jewish from Greece. and it was a constant thing, and so we said, okay, we got to lay this out so that people, at least, there's some history to say that like these people existed. And that was the germ. And then we took some initial interviews, and it took a long time until we got the ball rolling. And then Larry came on board, and then he helped put the whole thing together to bring it here. So the actual production process took about 10 years, I would say.
But from conception to birth?
It's since 1996.
Wow, that's amazing. And what about the research of the archival footage, and what was that process like, gathering all this beautiful archival footage and photographs?
Martin Elias, who's one of the executive producers, he came across footage that was shot by Sam Elias, one of the people, he was in the garment district, and it was degrading and falling apart, and we restored it, we went to a lab, we fixed it up, and that was the original archival footage. Then in addition, Andrea Grass, who's in the audience, her family had the other archival footage, which for a long time we couldn't get a hold of, and then we managed to finally find it, and that just added to it, and we were very lucky.
And before I open it up, maybe talk to us about like where's the film been, and what are the plans for the future of the film?
We premiered at the Rain Dance Festival in London. We've been showing in festivals around the world. We were in Sydney and Melbourne and in Berlin. We were in California, and we're still following that process. And there's a conversation I had with people at PBS right now that I'm following up on, and hopefully we can try and get it on PBS.
Great.
And also Greek television is interested also. Greek television.
So should we open it up to the audience?
Sure.
See what they have to say? Sure. Okay. Eddie over there with the microphone can help us. If you have a question, does anybody have a question? Yes. Take the microphone if you don't mind.
I don't need a microphone. I'm from Brooklyn. First, I'm here with my brother. So this has such significance for me.
I'm sorry, take the microphone because there's people all the way in the back who don't hear.
Okay. All right, I'll start from the beginning. I'm here with my brother. So this has tremendous significance for me. I was telling my brother I wish that my mother was here, and I wish that my grandmother was here. They were the Sephardic half of our family, and the other half was Ashkenazi. And we never knew what happened to my grandmother's family. And you might know my cousin. I have a book that she wrote, and I brought it with me. Barry.
Nachmias.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and she echoed what this lovely woman said, really, never again. And how, we're just really all people. And that's it. And
Your
but
friend
I just
Barry.
I don't know what her name is.
She's talking about Barry Nachmias.
I know.
Who she's
Is she
related to.
related?
She's
she's
related.
our cousin.
Oh,
She's related.
what's your last name?
What's your name?
Our last name, my father was Ashkenazi, so our last name is Moses, but my grandmother's name was Mavora.
Mevora.
And we had many friends that were Confino and Russo.
Yeah,
I feel like saying Jack, Clara, because going down the list, it's amazing to see people. And I just want to say thank you, because I teach film, and this was a story that desperately, desperately needed to be told. Everybody knows about what happened in Salonika, which was horrible, and the numbers were greater. But we never knew anything about Kastoria. Never. And so that's all. Just thank you again. And
Thank you.
Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
here.
Thank you for coming.
From Kastoria? Of
Very few.
I think there may be 4 or 5 right now.
Hi, thank you so much. You're such a lovely woman and such a classy woman that I think you're such a great role model for all women. And I also wanted to say that my cousin, that was my cousin, Jack Eliau. Kastoria, he's my first cousin. Our mothers were sisters.
Oh, wow.
And it's surreal just watching him. But yeah, my uncle was Isaac Eliau. That was his father.
Oh, wow.
So it's a small world.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember meeting.
And I know Larry because I interpreted a couple of things from Ladino and Greek to English. So.
She came to the office and did some translation for us.
Oh, thank you.
You're very welcome. It was an honor. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this beautiful film. My father was born in Kastoria. He came to the United States when he was about 16 or 17, so before all this happened. But his name was Caleb Ezra, and he told me about working in the flour mill. And also his sister is Esther Mayo, Mrs. Boko Mayo. So I was so happy to see her picture in this film and to learn to see the flour mill that he told me about. And he had wonderful memories, of course, of Kastoria because he left before all of this happened. But thank you again.
Thank you.
Very welcome.
Wow.
Just a quick question.
Is there anything else she wants to say?
Well, my question was broader. It was about Jews in Greece right now. Is there a big community of Jews in Greece outside of Kastoria?
The biggest community is still in Salonika, but I think it's less than 1,000 today. It's in Athens it's larger? Oh, really? Oh, I didn't even know. Wow.
I think there is only one family.
Hi, I was just wondering why you decided to end the film where you ended the film and not necessarily bring it.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
How did you decide where to end the film in time?
Where to end the film in
End the
time?
In the film in time. Okay. I
How
mean,
did-
really, the only present day material is with Jack Elias. So, you know, there wasn't that much of a story to tell past the 50s because the community had all dispersed except for very few people, I think, were there in the 50s, and then by the 60s, I think just Jack's family was there. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I think just the Elias family was there. So that sort of dictated how far forward we could move. What's that?
What about the historic community? How has that? There seems to be a lot of people here.
That have ancestry, yes.
So how has that played out in the U.S.? Within this small little.
Well, the film hasn't been done for that long. We're just sort of starting to do special screenings, and we're going to be doing a series of synagogues in the sort of New York area soon. I mean, one of the main communities that was interested is the Kastorian Society, which is a society in Queens, and we actually screened there. This is an organization of furriers, essentially, who are in the fur business. And non-Jews, but they love the film and will probably go back there fairly, soon. They're requesting for us to go back there. So we're getting, wonderful response from people who have a connection to the town. It's been fantastic.
People from all over the country, from all over the world, have been sending emails to us through the website saying, I have an uncle, I have a grandmother, I have from Kastoria. So the Kastorialese are spread out pretty widely.
There's- No, somebody has a microphone over there, I'm sorry.
Yes.
And did it close? Is this the thing? It was in a house. Joe, you want to take that?
There is a Kastorian Society in New York. It's called Hesed Kastorian Friendship Truth Society of Kastoria. It's the brotherhood of Kastorians who live in America. Most of the members had come to America before the Second World War, and of course, the few survivors that came after the war, some of them became members of the society. The society still exists. The synagogue is in Brooklyn on 63rd Street and 20th Avenue. It's called Kal Ke'ilah Kastorialis, the synagogue of the Kastorialis, and it's an active society, and we have about 250 families that are members of the society. And if you're interested in more about it, you could contact me afterwards.
Somebody back there has the microphone.
Yes. I don't know you, I've never met you, Lena, but I've heard about you from my aunt. My aunt was Esther Liao, Esther Baraja,
Oh, yes, of course, from California.
California.
Yes.
Right. My uncle, Jack Baraja, married Esther. So I grew up with her. We live next door to each other. I have two cousins, also Baraja. But I've heard about you all my life, how good friends you were. And when she lived in New York, you were her best friend. I also knew Barry Nachmias.
Talking about Esther Beraja, right?
Yes.
Esther Beraja, of course, she was from Kastoria,
Yes.
and we were good friends. And I knew her family, Beraja, their husband, and two sons.
Exactly, Elliot and Albert.
Elliot, yes. And as a matter of fact, Elliot was a good friend of my son also. We lived in the Bronx at that time. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I don't know what happened to them now. One is here, one is there. It's really hard even for me to contact everybody.
Well, Aunt Esther died a number of years ago, so did Uncle
Yeah.
Jack.
This I know.
And
Yeah.
I sent an email to my cousin Elliot today to tell him that I was going to be here. He tried to contact, I don't know which one of you gentlemen, to find out when the film was going to be shown in California, because that's where Elliot lives.
Elliot lives in California. I would like to hear from him.
I will tell him.
I would like to hear from him because they grew up together with my children nearby in the Bronx.
And when they moved to California, our houses were right next to each other, so I saw Elliot in November. I will tell him that I spoke to you. It's been a pleasure because Aunt Esther used to talk about you all the time.
Okay. I hope he's well.
He is well.
I wish
He's
them all the
married.
best, but it's nice to hear from them. Good. Yeah. Okay.
I think there's a woman over here.
Somebody over here?
Oh.
First, I want to commend Lena. She was just absolutely wonderful, and it was so hard for her to say everything that she said. I know Lena way back. We used to go to Lasher parties, and my name is Esther Cohen,
Esther Cohen.
and I was
Esther
married
Cohen.
to Strail Cohen, a Castroli. My mother was a Castroli. Her maiden name was Sophie Cohen. And the shul he was referring to that's in Bensonhurst right now began in Newlots on Walter Street. And my father-in-law, Yaakov Cohen, was the first president and one of the founders of that shul and of the cemetery at Mount Hepburn. I go way back. and I'm very proud. I'm very proud of the Castrolis.
Very proud of the Kastoriales, sure.
Yes, I am
No
so proud.
question about it. Kastoria #1.
I am. Any chance I got in life to affiliate with them, to associate with them, to touch them, I'm there. They're good people, and I hope what you said never happens again. Never. It took-
Never.
Thank you. It took a lot of courage. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all of you that you came in. Thank you so very, very much. Yeah. And while I'm still around, I will never stop working for the purpose that I have in life.
One last question.
There's this woman over, there's somebody who's been waiting patiently up there. Yeah. We'll talk to you afterwards.
Lena, gentlemen, I just want to say you're such an inspiration for all of us. And you gave me pride again, as I always feel, being Sephardi. And I went to that little shul as a child, the brothers of Kastorialis, and the men in the front and the women in the back. And I used to say to my mother, I'm going to go sit in the front with the men. No, the rabbi will get crazy. And my grandfather's brother used to blow the shofar, the Benzion Casuto, and my grandfather, Marco Casuto. So I just want to say, such beauty, and may God continue to bless the work of your hands, that you may be able to spread this beautiful message everywhere. Amen. God bless you.
Thank you very much.
Do you have some final words?
No, what I'm going to say, have a good Passover, everybody. Was very nice seeing you. And we'll do it again and again.
Thank you.
And have a good Passover, good Easter, a good year. Bye-bye. So long. Love you all.